just want to put go throughout the day. Don't pressure the large businesses. Trust me, they have like the most impossible, difficult job in the world. All right, they're trying to balance, keeping a world-class supply chain and trying to create opportunities for new businesses. All right, which is a little bit of a paradox when you think about it. Okay, every large business right here, everything they need is already coming from a world-class supplier. You're not going to beat anybody on price, you're not going to beat anybody on quality, delivery, or any of those things. They already have a supply base that is incredible, and they already have a queue of excellent suppliers that have already worked with them for many, many years that have been bounced out because they went to prime source or this type of thing. So the queue is really long, and there's a lot of depth in that, the queue with the major companies. All right, so for a new entree, you got to be practical. And really think through what's going on here. What are really my chances on a practical matter of becoming a supplier here? And you can get in that queue, you just have to kind of wait for that crack in the door. And that's really the way it works. In spite of what anyone else might tell you, that's the way it works. So all this hocus pocus, go register at the portal, which is the biggest joke in America for suppliers. Right? We all know it's a black hole, and that's just a way of, gatekeeper stuff. I shouldn't say that because we provide that service to many corporations. But, I'm a big boy, and at one point in your life, if you've done pretty well in business, you want to have a legacy, and the legacy is not that you made some money. The legacy is that you made a difference. All right, so some of the things you start to hear that come from me personally will really be more on the trying to balance the truth and the practical solutions to grow businesses. Not on, the smoke and mirror stuff that, everybody knows exist. I started to say what a difficult job the corporate people have in trying to, make this work. I mean, they have an impossible job, and they do an incredible job, based on what they have to work with. But they're driven by matrix, right? They're given a task, they're driven by goals, right? So, I won't be the first one or the last one to say this, but, all this stuff about spend, the bigger the spend, you assume that, the company's doing better, is a bunch of hocus pocus, okay? I'm not embarrassed to say that, people with, these billion-dollar spends doesn't necessarily mean that they're providing a lot of opportunities, okay? Because we're in the data business, and we understand that data, right? And when people talk about, the aggregate of diverse spend might be a little bit over $100 billion, I can name 5 people that are in the room right now that would add up to about 7 billion of those, right? If you look at our top 500 diverse-owned business list, the top 10, when you talk about worldwide technology, 3 billion, Software House International, over 3 billion, Omega, $1.5 billion, right? We're only drilling down 4 businesses. So 10% of that spend is within 10 companies, right? And you look at some of our data, some of the research that I read, you'll find out that with our top 500 businesses, 53% of that total spend is going to the top 500 businesses. That really does not leave much room for anyone else. And those are the facts, right? Because you're all here and you all report your revenue, and we publish that, right? We have all this list. So you can't hide from the facts. This is not an opinion, all right? So, what I'm really trying to say is the big companies in the room, I know you have a tough job, but you have to start to look at impact. Spend really doesn't mean anything, okay? Plenty of times we see somebody getting a $50 million contract, almost no margin, and it's a pass-through, and that's a fact, right? So, smaller business and privately owned business, you got to start to question some of this stuff, because what we need is impact. We need more business drilled down to smaller companies that can provide more jobs. Because at the end of the day, a company that's already doing $200–300 million a $10 million contract with not add any new jobs. They don't hire new staff, they don't need any more administration because they have good systems. That's why they're a good company. I mean, these are great companies. I mean, the companies in this room are literally incredible at the level of service that they provide. Right? They're second to none. And I can say that of everyone in the room. That's why you're here. So let's, all of us together, think about some better solutions to grow the economy. And it will not be because we have bigger spend. We have to look at it and drill down. What is the spend about? Who's involved in the spend? And we've always had this thing that, you know, kind of, we have this master-slave relationship that still goes on. Big companies to small company. Big companies define all the rules, and you know, we get in line and do all that. Now, we've all made a lot of money, so we're not going to question that. What are we, crazy? Right? It's very difficult for me to make so many statements because people in the room are paying me a lot of money to do this. All right? And have for a long period of time. So maybe I am losing my mind because I'm getting a little older. But, you know, you got to think about, you know, where your kids, where your grandkids going to get a job. Okay? And if we don't start to do something differently, we have two big things that are going to happen. All right? The first one is going from a world-class country to a third world nation. All right? The demographics are also factual. The more Hispanics, the more African Americans we have that are undereducated, underemployed, below the poverty level, affects everyone. It affects the standard of living of the entire country. Right? So it's just common knowledge that as there's more and more Hispanics, if they're not educated, if they're not part of the economic stream, what does that do for everyone? It's a pretty serious problem. So all this focus on all this big spend, you know, it's good, spend that money, but you got to drill that back down where there's going to be some impact. You have to drill it down where there's going to be some impact, unless it's just, you know, smoke and screens. You know, it's just smoke and mirrors, and that really is not going to help the country long term. All right, we have some significant problems that are right over the horizon as we have more and more people that are undereducated, underemployed, and living in poverty. Right, we increase crime and all these other kind of things. So, everyone, I hope you get to at least one take home from the conference. Okay, number one take home I hope you would get is a new friend. I mean, a new relationship. And that doesn't have to be about business. All right? That new relationship doesn't have to be somebody you're pursuing for some kind of contract. Right? Develop your network. That is the most important thing. And that's big business and small business. Right? Because you may call on that new person to, you know, give your son or daughter